And welcome to this edition of the Angel of Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guest and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I do like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I'll introduce you to my wonderful guest, Derek O'Shea. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with my like-minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Rae, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy. And I'm a spiritual guide and healer who's passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. Now, through angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life full of abundance and fulfillment. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or an oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Eric O'Shea, about how to finally break free from anxiety and find lasting inner peace so you can move forward with calm and confidence. Now, Derek is an energy healing therapist who supports high performers, visionaries, and leaders to finally break free from anxiety, self sabotage, and past trauma so they can feel calm, confident, fully at peace while they pursue their purpose and build their legacy. Now, Derek's real gift lies in helping his clients quickly uncover and gently heal the root causes of anxiety and emotional blocks. He specializes in childhood trauma and combines deep energy healing with his own unique approach to inner child work to create life changing results in just a few sessions. People often come to him after trying everything from therapy and mindset work to somatic practices and still feel like there's something missing. Now, Derek helps them finally shift what's stuck at a subconscious level so they can move forward with clarity and freedom. Originally from Dublin, he's now based in Barcelona. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more about the powerful work he does and how it can support you too. So, without further delay, hello, Derek, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
I am amazing. Thank you.
Excellent. So, before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments, and thoughts, as both Derek and I want to be part of this conversation. So, please don't be shy. So, Derek, why don't you tell us more about your journey and how we can break free from anxiety and find lasting inner peace to move forward with calm and confidence?
So, my journey with this work started when I was a lot younger. So, I'm 37 now. When I got into subconscious healing, I was around like 23, 24, and I would say like this was probably when I had my dark night of the soul, as you would say. So I had that point in my life where I literally reached basically the rock bottom internally. I was feeling like the lowest I've ever felt. But really, what spurred on my healing journey and really allowed me to discover this work was I was on this quest to actually heal my body and get my body to actually feel more well, to feel better. Because this was a period of my life where I actually, like, not only was I feeling at the lowest I've ever felt, like I dealt with anxiety for a long time before even I didn't even know it was anxiety then though, but I was just I was just living my life like on autopilot, with so much fear, so much anxiety, like just fear of everything, no confidence, low self-esteem. But basically when everything came to a head, where everything came to a head was when I became quite physically not well, you know. I started to get just these very random physical symptoms that seemed like not connected but connected at the same time, and they all seemed to be like, like nervous system symptoms, neurological symptoms, like constant headaches, nausea, loss of appetite, complete like what's the word, like just fatigue, you
Mm,
know, no motivation. Um, at one point, when my physical symptoms had gotten to the worst they were, I remember like my body would always feel a lot colder than than most people. Like my feet would always feel freezing cold. My hands would feel heavy and like almost like they were going numb. Now this was like when they got to the worst, you know. They got better like pretty soon after that. But like it was such a scary time and it felt like my body had actually stopped working, you know? So
Yeah,
combine that with the anxiety and the like whatever was going on inside me, like mentally, like on top of that just was it was the worst time. So basically how I found subconscious healing was when I hit that point was like, okay, I need to get better, and nothing is working. Going to the doctor isn't helping. Like there was no pill that was able to actually get rid of all the symptoms, and none of the pills that I used to always take to get rid of headaches, they all stopped working as well. You know, I used to be the type of person that would always take headache tablets, Solpadeine. You know, Solpadeine.
yes,
I used to love the Solpadeine because it's like, oh, just put two in water, boom, and then your headache is gone. That was me. I used to get constant headaches, but nothing was working. And then, long story short, I discovered this work online, and I just said, okay, I'm gonna try it. And then, you know, literally that was it. Like I started, and after my fourth session I was like, okay, wow, I'm starting to feel better. And then I just continued and I continued and I just gave put all my time and all the money that I had just in having sessions to just basically just to make myself better. And with time, like I completely came back to like my full healthy self. But for me, I mean, that was a huge win because I didn't feel well. And when I done this deep healing work, like, but this is the work that it is, it's like you're identifying basically past traumas that you've had in your life, like that go back to your childhood. And these traumas they can be small traumas. They don't always have to be big, huge traumas, you know, they can be really small traumas. Um, but when I started basically healing these traumas on an energetic level, like not only was I feeling better on an emotional level, feeling happier, feeling more confident, but that's when the symptoms all just started to disappear because whatever was going on inside me was resolved, and it wasn't like my body was just like really like healing on a deep level, you know. But for me, the biggest like win was just the amount of peace I felt inside. And this is why I always help. This is why I went in the direction of
mm,
really focusing on helping people with anxiety, because I didn't even realize that I just lived with really bad anxiety 24/7. Like I was afraid of everything. But I didn't even realize it looking back. I just thought, oh, I just thought that's just who I was. Like I was just a fearful person. But yeah, I was riddled with it, you know. So for me, the biggest thing, the best thing for me was being able to become a person then who was just naturally happy. Natural baseline was just calmness, you know, peace, feeling good, feeling confident, like just that feeling you get when you realize that like something that used to scare you, or like an insecurity that you used to have that was really strong, that it was just gone. Realizing that things like that are just gone in one moment, having that realization is just like, wow, this is amazing. Like, so for me, that was the like wow, like with this work. And that's why I headed in the direction of helping people overcome anxiety, helping people overcome whatever insecurities they have, you know, so they can feel more confident and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, they're and it's good that that you did recognise that, because so many people, have anxiety and stress, and, they have headaches, but they just keep ignoring it. But they're willing to spend money on Netflix or the latest fashion, or, whatever it is.
Keeping up
It-
with the Joneses.
Exactly, rather than actually spending the money on, okay, maybe I need to look at why I'm not feeling so great.
Yeah, like instead of investing it in their well-being,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And I find that a lot of people are happy to spend the money in other stuff, but not on their well-being. And I don't know whether that's because that's how society has sort of like put onto us, our parents, peers,
I was just thinking that.
news.
Yeah, it's kind of it's we're programmed to be that way. You know, that's how that's how marketing works. That's how we're fed this information, like from young ages, like, and that's what happens. So it's like, it's no wonder people are kind of this way, because it's just shoved into our faces and it's programmed into us that, okay, you go to the doctor, you ask for a pill or ask for some type of medicine when something's wrong, and that's it, like, you know. And then and then your priorities can become like what, like night out, new clothes, new phones, new gadgets, all this kind of stuff. And we fall into that trap of thinking if we have all those new things, that's going to make us feel better, but it never does.
No, and it's a
No.
shame that it takes to get to that point where you kind of like finally go, actually, maybe I ought to respend that money, or I don't have that money now, but I need to find it to look after myself. So it's brilliant that you actually recognize that and you actually took the action um, to do that, especially as women are more likely to do that, and men are less likely to actually look at the holistic side of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I would say about that is like, when I did that, for me, it was like I didn't have any other choice. Nothing else was working. And it was almost like I was backed into a corner, and it was just kind of like, I could just kind of say to myself, I may as well just try this, you know? And then once I started to get results, that was it. I was like, okay, let's just keep pulling at this rope. And I just put everything into that. And that's when I kind of just that's when I really kind of, I'd say, had my awakening, was when I started to learn the correlation between um, past traumas and who we are today, and how your subconscious is programmed. Like, me having no choice but to actually look into myself, look in within myself, and actually heal. Like, it was actually the biggest blessing, and that was the thing that really like woke me up. And that's that was the start of like the very conscious, awake, driven person that's talking to you now. So it's cliche to say it, but it's like, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, you know. And I fully believe that I'm meant to be doing this. I'm meant to be supporting people in this way. I'm meant to be putting this work out into the world. So I guess, yeah, something had to happen to put me on this path.
Yeah. But
You know.
and what happened to you is good because you can now understand people that are going through exactly the same thing because you've lived through it, you've been through it. So was it easy to find people to work with or ways to help you, or was it more difficult to find those
It
people?
was easier. No, it was actually quite easy. I mean, all I did was just do like a search online, and I remember I found I just found this. It was just like a random therapist that was doing this kind of work, like, um, and she was in a different part of the world. My very first energy healing therapist that helped me was actually based in Scotland. And what attracted me to her was that she shared a story on her website about something that she was going through, which helped her, right? And it sounded very similar to what I was going through. And she had already overcome it. So I was like, right, this is the person I need to work with, someone that has been through what I've been through and has actually beaten it. So that's how I decided to go, like, with that person. But actually, it was quite easy because we were in the age of technology and Google searches.
Mm.
All you have to do is type in what you're looking for and just see what comes up. And I did everything online. It I did only did sessions online, obviously, because this person was in a different part of the world. But yeah, no, it was amazing.
Yeah. And it's amazing. Well, it's not amazing, but it's wonderful how, we moan about technology sometimes.
Yeah, me
And,
included.
yeah, but it has been such
It's
a benefit for expanding and being able to try different healing modalities from anywhere in the world and meet new
yeah,
people.
yeah. It's pretty spectacular. I'll have to be honest. I have a mixed relationship with it. Obviously, like you can understand, like um, yeah, I would say I probably have a love hate relationship with it, but yeah, it's amazing what it has done for people like us and to be able to reach such a wider audience and to actually connect with a wider audience of people who can actually help you. And you actually don't even need to leave your living room or your bedroom to get life changing treatment or support. It's amazing, you know?
Yeah. Although obviously you do have to be a bit discerning about who you
Of
are,
course. Yeah, of course.
trust for your especially for healing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, that's where discernment comes into play. And like I'd always be the type of person to read, okay, what results has this person gotten for someone? Testimonials. I love reading testimonials, you know, before going for it. But then at the end of the day, it's really about when you connect with that person, you know, you'll kind of just know after you have a first call with that person, like, oh, I think this is the person for me. You just feel the connection, the energy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you did this healing. So what made you decide to actually do it yourself?
Um, like what I was saying earlier was just like when I like when I felt the shift in myself after, let's say, one particular session I had, the shift in my perception, like the shift in how I was feeling, the change in me from one session to another. Like literally, I was so aware of all of the micro shifts and major shifts that were happening after I would do like each session. But it was just like counting like day to day insecurities or insecurities that I've had for a long time, fears, anxieties, like and like like carrying guilt for years and just witnessing that just kind of disappear from my life and just being like, oh wow, I just don't feel that anymore. It's just gone. When I really started to notice all of these shifts from doing this work, it was like, wow, like insane, you know? So it was really just like, okay, why wouldn't I? You know? Why wouldn't I try it? Why wouldn't I want to help people and do this work? You know? So it was really that. It was just like, for me, it was just like, okay, more people need to know about this work. More people need to experience what I'm experiencing, what I have experienced, and how much I have changed. Because if you look at it this way, right? Look at like the person that I am now today compared to when I was like, let's say when I had my dark night of the soul. If I never had this support, if I was never able to actually heal on the subconscious level and heal my past traumas completely and be able to like step into this person that I am today, then I wouldn't be the person I am today who's helping so many more other people, right? So think of all the other people out there in the world that are like the older version of me or an older version of me. And if I wasn't around to be the person like shining a light on that and being like, oh, look, I can help with this, like it's having such a knock on effect, like a ripple effect. Like, really, like, it's like I'm actually, as one person, I'm helping to shift the whole consciousness of humanity, like one person at a time. And if more people can have those results that I had, think of like them then stepping into their best potential, their biggest potential. And then what can they do then after that? Like, how can they influence the world? So it's like really like it has to be done, you know?
Yeah.
It just
No.
has to be done because there's too many people that are carrying all this old shit, all past trauma, and they're not being able to really tap into who they're here to be. So I was able to tap into who I'm here to be. So why not, like, now it's just like, right, I have to help other people do that. And think of how amazing the world can be, like when people on a global scale, on a mass scale, actually tap into who they're here to be and actually do it and go for it. The world is going to be amazing, and it's happening.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
it.
happening slowly but surely. It is happening.
Oh yeah, it's definitely happening. You can feel that shift sort of like taking place at the moment. So, what made you decide to use the tools you do? So how do you help people, and what made you decide to go down this particular route?
So the main healing technique that I use is called theta healing. Okay. And why I went down this particular route is because once I shifted into using theta healing, that was when I had the biggest shifts, like the biggest results. Like, for example, I would, when I started my healing journey, I started with different energy healing techniques. Like, do you know what EFT tapping is?
Yep.
EFT tapping was the very first thing that helped me. Like, that was the little baby step, and that was when I started to be like, okay, so whatever I'm doing here, it's working, so let's just keep going. So I started with EFT tapping sessions, and then the person that was my EFT therapist, they shifted into this technique called theta healing, and she said to me, oh, I'm doing this now, I think you'll like it because it's actually just way faster than what we've been doing before. So because I trusted this person, I was just like, okay, let's give it a shot. And then when we done the first like session or two, that was when I felt like, oh, wow, oh my god, this is like lightning speed healing compared to what we were doing before. So the reason I decided to go down this route was because it's just really just so incredibly fast. Like it's crazy how fast you can actually shift like old patterns and just get out of anxieties and just really like dissolve lifelong like blocks, fears, beliefs like instantly. So that's the reason I went in this direction, and I only use theta heal and I combine it with inner child work, and I use some other tools like coaching and other energy clearing tools in my one-to-one work too. But like I would I would make like if you ask me what what's the tool I use, what's the technique I use, it's theta healing
Yeah.
because
So
it's
for
just so
people,
fast.
yeah, so for people that might be watching and they've never heard of theta healing, what is it and what's involved?
So theta healing is essentially it's an energy healing modality, and it allows us using it. We use like a theta brainwave state. Okay, it's a meditative state, and when the practitioner like me goes into this meditative state, this is what allows us to release, let's say, subconscious beliefs that we've identified with the client within a session. So if we identify certain beliefs, certain emotions, or patterns that the client has been operating from a holding, when we use theta healing, we go into this theta state, and that allows us to release these patterns and beliefs fast and on an energetic level, and also as well as allowing us to release uh, subconscious beliefs, we're also able to instill new beliefs. So it's like we download new beliefs, new feelings, positive feelings, and new awarenesses into the client's energy and subconscious also, like actual feelings, actual awarenesses, and we download them into the client's energy and subconscious using this theta brainwave state. And that's what creates the change. We release the old and then we bring in the new, and
Okay.
that's what creates the healing.
So, does your client go into a theta state as well?
No,
No.
no, just a practitioner. So we have a process by which we will use when we will identify specific beliefs that the client maybe is holding through like just a conversation like this, through exploration, you know. So I'll explore with the client, okay, what is the issue that you're having? They'll tell me, and then I'll help them dig down to what's at the root of it just by chatting with them and asking them questions. And when we get there, then I'll ask them, okay, would you like to change this? And all they have to do is just give their consent to actually let go of certain things. And then I use the theta brainwave state. So what I do is I'll connect with in this meditative state. I'm basically connecting in with divine source energy, and it's from this space that we're allowed to make those changes happen for the client.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Because sometimes I think when clients come to see people, to see practitioners, they kind of like, it's kind of like, oh my God, am I expected to do something?
A
It's
lot
like,
of stuff, a lot of
yeah,
work.
it's
Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? No, you
yeah,
just have to show up you just have to show up with the desire to actually change, and then the practitioner will take it from there. Like, I will take it from there. I'm speaking for myself because like all theta healing practitioners will work in a different way. Everyone will have their own style. They'll do it in their own way. But basically, all the client really needs to do with me is just show up and be willing to change, have that desire, and just answer all the questions I ask, and I'll just guide us right to the root. And when we get there, then it's like, okay, let's get rid of this. It's
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people forget is when you say yes to something, then that's when things start happening. It's like when people book an angelic Reiki session with me, before they even get to
Yeah,
me, the work
yeah.
has already
Oh,
started.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because they've just decided. They've just decided, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm choosing this. And just from even just, let's say, booking their first call with somebody, they'll start to feel things moving, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
I,
amazing.
I, I just love the way that energy works.
Yeah, that's a clear sign that you're literally going in your soul aligned path. When things start flowing like that, that's a clear sign that it's like, okay, keep going like this, you're on the right path.
Yeah. So where did the inner child work start coming in?
So when I did my trainings, I had an amazing theta healing trainer she was trained as a psychotherapist before becoming a theta healer. So she taught all her students in this kind of style, like to dig and to explore, like the way a psychotherapist would, and then when we get to the bottom, then bring in the theta healing. So I was really quite blessed to be taught in this way, to learn it in this way. I really learned how to get to the root of issues really fast by paying attention to the way I was being taught this. But where the inner child work was came in was she actually showed us how to do this one day. Is just kind of bring it in to the session. Like anyone would just let's say people are doing inner child work. They would just you would connect with your inner child, have a conversation, maybe take care of them. But then what we started to do was converse with the inner child, connect with them like you would in any other inner child session. But then what we actually do then is we actually have a theta healing session with the inner child. So we're actually healing that part of you that's stuck there, that's holding all of the energy, that's holding all of the trauma. And basically, we're having a healing session with them, you know? So we're doing two things. We're not only connecting with the inner child, allowing them to be seen and loved and cared for, we're actually giving them a healing session. We're actually releasing things for them, like as if they were a client. So I started to bring this into the work that I did with my clients, and it's really just like, wow, you can have like, like when you have specific like blocks or patterns or maybe beliefs that you seem to always have to keep working on and working on and working on, they just can't seem to resolve. It This can be because um, there's a younger part of you, the inner child part of you is actually kind of stuck or frozen energetically in the time or in the moment when this specific pattern was created. So it can usually be when we connect with these parts of our inner child and do the session like this, these types of patterns and deep root beliefs can finally just dissolve because you've actually like gotten right to the root of where it was created and completely resolved it at that level. So it's really like when you do the work in this way with the inner child, it creates an even bigger like result, like an even a more powerful healing, a more powerful like ripple effect when you do the walk in this way, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So in a child, is that something from our actual childhood, or could it be a previous lifetime childhood that our inner
It
child?
could be. It could be a previous part of you. It could be like once you start to actually like locate these parts of you, you'll be surprised where you'll be taken to. You can also be taken back to different lifetimes. And just because it's inner child work, it doesn't necessarily always have to be our inner child. Sometimes you can just be taken back to a part of your life when you were a teenager, and you might need to just connect with that teenager version of you and do the session in that way. Or maybe like a younger adult version of you, who's really just locked in that time, in that moment, in that trauma. But to answer your question, yes, 100%. I've done so much past life healing work
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and I can imagine. Well, I mean, I think back to my teenage years. Teenagers do. There's a lot of stuff that does get stuck from being a teenager.
Yeah, yeah. I would say my teenage years were probably like that. Like I dealt with a lot of like traumatic experiences or very overwhelming or very stressful experiences as a teenager that most other teenagers maybe didn't have to process or didn't have to go through. So I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely amazing. How much of our actual how we act and communicate as adults comes from teenage years, childhood years, past lives.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's literally controlling what we're doing today. Like everything that has happened in our past, from our childhood, even like past lives, but like up until like all of those key moments that probably we don't even think about anymore, that you probably
Yeah,
don't think about anymore, they can literally be shaped. They are shaping your reality right now. So it isn't so that's a perfect moment to just segue into the main point of what I do is I would say like that's why it's so important to actually do this work,
yeah,
to identify your limiting beliefs and where did they come from, and actually work on healing at the core, but on an energetic level.
yeah. So if you were to give advice to anyone who kind of goes, actually, that's kind of like resonating with me, but I want to do something quickly before I do anything else. I want to do something tonight. Is there anything that somebody could do just until they could get to see somebody?
So they can watch a free masterclass. they can watch a free event that actually has this work, and that's actually a perfect opportunity for me to mention that there's a free masterclass that I have. It's a replay, which is basically how to break free from your anxiety and really step into peace. And this is an hour long workshop that actually includes a sample, a taster of this work. So you can just watch this masterclass, this replay, and you'll actually experience a shift. So if anybody is watching that and would like to experience it, you can literally click the link that's included in the notes of this show and download that free masterclass and take part in it. It's an hour of your life and it will actually change your life.
Beautiful. Yes, and I will definitely put the link in the comments to that. So, as you know, I do angel oracle cards and I do guided meditation. So each week, I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to pull an oracle card for themselves and those watching, or do a mini guided meditation. So, Derek, what would you like?
Mm. Oracle card.
And funny enough, they're in my hands as we speak.
You set me up.
No, no. To be quite truthful, if
No.
you'd said guided meditation, I would still have pulled the cards and done a guided meditation for the cards. So
Right.
I don't
Okay.
know either. But
Ah, okay.
I'd always pull a card.
Love it.
So just cleanse and bless the cards. So as always, when I do the cards what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because even though I work with past lives, when I take people back to the past, it is to heal, learn, so it doesn't affect them in the current. And when I take people into the future, it's so they can see, understand, and know the future. So they can come back and it doesn't, they're not worrying about it in the present. So what does Derek and everyone who's watching this live or replay need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? Okay, let's see what we're going with. So the card that came out was Miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge.
Oh, I
Isn't that
love this.
beautiful? Um,
Oh, that's such good energy. I love it.
I
I
know, and
love miracles.
it taps into what you've been talking about as well, which I always think is absolutely amazing. So it is kind of like saying, expect that wondrous things are going to happen to you, because when you get into that mindset, then these things really do happen. Children believe in miracles, so go back to that child and think what miracles can actually happen, and know that when you expect those miracles, that will happen. So for you, Derek, it's like, you're expecting these miracles to happen and they're just going to start piling in. And for everyone watching, if you haven't
Love it.
quite got to that mindset yet, then just take the time to breathe, look at the stars, look at nature, see how miraculous that is, and tap into that energy, so that you can then expect that these wondrous things will emerge. So I think that's absolutely a brilliant card, and I love the fact you've got the gene, you've got the lamp. You know what you want,
Oh, I
to bring,
love it.
bring
I
in.
love it.
You just need to rub the lamp and and set the intentions. What is it I want to come in? So, Derek, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
Expect miracles to happen.
Perfect.
And no, on that note, it's funny actually, because and you mentioned this earlier. So once you actually decide or choose, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this kind of work. I'm going to do it. Let's do it. Once you actually choose that and take the first step towards it and you're actually doing it, miracles actually happen. Miracles actually do happen on top of you actually doing the work. But like once you take that step and actually be like, okay, that's it, I'm doing it. Like that is literally when miracles start to show up.
Beautiful. I
Isn't
love
that
it.
funny?
I love that. Perfect, perfect. Synchronicity.
Yeah,
Perfect.
love
See?
it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Derek, how do they do that? And you've already shared a free gift, but I believe you've got something else coming up as well.
Yes. So on the topic of inner child healing, I'm actually hosting a live inner child healing masterclass next Tuesday. So that's Tuesday the 20th of May, and it's gonna be at around 7 p.m. UK time. It's a live interactive masterclass, and basically I'm going to be sharing this technique and how you can heal from your wounds and really step into, you know, being the leader that you're here to be in this reality, and actually tap into who you're supposed to be, but doing it with like confidence and peace, no anxiety. So this is going to be an epic, it's free, this masterclass. You can join this by just clicking the link that's in the show notes. The link I'm sharing is from my link tree. There's a bunch of things that you can actually access there, but the sign up for this masterclass will be on that link. And you can also just follow me on Instagram, connect me on Facebook, but everything, all the ways to contact me or follow me is in that link of the link tree.
Excellent. Yep, I will post the link tree link on there for people. So thank you so much, Derek, for sharing your wisdom. It's been an absolute pleasure
Thank you.
having you on the show. And the dog did make an appearance.
Yeah, he's asleep.
Oh,
He's
bless.
just over there on the couch and he's just like,
See, he knew. He was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to give you some time.
it's like,
Yeah,
I'm going to
give
give you a
the
break
dogs a
tonight.
chat.
Thank God.
Yes. Anyway, so thank you everyone for watching. And of course, if you are feeling called to explore your path more deeply, then my Soul Path Discovery Program is now open, which is a personal journey to help you heal, gain clarity, and align with your soul's purpose. So why don't you book a free Soul Path Discovery call to receive guidance through the Angel Oracle cards, explore what's included in the program, and ask any questions. There's no expectations, just clarity and connection. So send me a message to arrange your call. And of course, I also have a couple of other free gifts for you designed to help you connect more deeply with your guides and angels and explore your future. So check out the link in the comments after the show to grab yours. And again, thank you so much for watching. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe free and hit that bell button to be notified of when the show goes live or my other shows go out, or I post new guided meditations. And remember, every time you follow, like, share, subscribe to anything I offer, that Derek offers, that any of my guests offers, you're being part of that beautiful web of allowing people to actually grow and create a better society, where everyone is happier and living in harmony. So you play a big, big part in this by supporting not just me, but all my guests as well. And I look forward to you all joining me, same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.